Welcome to Pete Antonellis' Wednesdays with Workers. My name is Angelica Santamaro, and I'm the director of the American Labor Museum Botto House National Landmark in Haledon, New Jersey. Today, we are meeting with a member of the American Federation of Teachers, Monica Mahler. Welcome, Monica.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. So we're really interested in hearing what you have to say because we know that you have a unique situation. But let's start out with your union. What led you to become a member of the American Federation of Teachers?
Well, let me begin by saying I've been in education for 44 years and have taught in the public school system in Florida for 38 years. I have been a union member for all 38 years. I believe in the union and how they help the worker. They negotiate our contracts. They help us with our grievances. They keep our classrooms and students safe with policies that benefit them. They kind of double check to make sure everything is the best that it can be. And we always have someone that we can turn to in case we have some kind of issues. Things can sometimes get intense, and you need someone to step in and kind of keep a balance. After I retired, I needed to do something. I loved what I did, and I did what I loved all those years. So I never felt like I worked at all. Don't get me wrong. I worked very hard every day with many challenges. And there were many challenges. I decided to try working at a charter school. There was no union at the charter school, so that was a little new to me. What a difference from belonging to a union at a school and a non-union school. You signed a contract that said they could let you go without an explanation and vice versa. It also stated that they can expect you to do extra duties without being paid for that. Some had limited extra pay, but most were voluntary. You were also expected to participate in after-school activities, which sometimes went right into the evening. I was very fortunate to have a fair principal and not have any issues with the school. I worked there for 6 years and loved teaching there. However, I heard stories from teachers that had issues and they had no recourse. You either quit or you just do what they expected you to do. I didn't agree with some of those policies. The issues that they had would not have happened in a school with a union in the district. They would be addressed as they came up and would be settled. If I had stayed longer at the charter school, I think I could have used my experience to help form a union. That would have been a challenge, but I think it would have been interesting to see how that progressed.
Fascinating and right on the money. And we really appreciate the comparison that you made between being a teacher working in a union school and a teacher working in a non-union school. Very, very interesting. So were you exposed to unionism growing up in your home?
Oh, I've always believed in unions. I guess it's because of my background, which came from my parents. My parents immigrated here from Germany in December of 1956. We crossed the Atlantic Ocean on a ship with one room, which had my mom and dad, and 2 little girls under the age of 6 and a 6-month-old baby. And we had to take our parakeet as well. There was no way we could go without it. All of us, except my mother, God bless her, she had her hands full taking care of us because we were so seasick. Once we arrived in the United States, My father worked in a knitting mill as a mechanic on the knitting machines. This was not a union shop. Since my father was an immigrant who spoke very little English, he was taken advantage of many times. After many long days and little pay, he left and found a job in Pennsylvania. We moved to Pennsylvania and we stayed there for several years. As my father advanced and took the knitting design from paper and programmed them into the machines, he was again taken advantage of. He was a smart man and knew he wanted a better life for his family. So we moved again. We came to Ridgefield, New Jersey, and what a difference. My father was exposed to a union shop. He was so excited when he would come home and tell us how different things were. He felt he had people who cared about him and his needs. His pay, his hours, his benefits, and his concerns were addressed by the union. This is how we grew up. And from that day on, we've believed in the union, and I've been a union member ever since.
And you spoke of during the time of work and the benefits that you experienced, the benefits that your father experienced. Does the union benefit you after you leave the work site and after you retire? How does the union benefit you? Or does it?
The union did definitely. It helped me in the end of my career in the district. I was entitled to certain benefits, which I definitely took advantage of. And every chance I get, and I speak to these people that I'm in contact with from the charter school, I tell them, don't let them get away with that. You need to speak up. You need to perhaps form a union. And I believe that, I don't know, that sometimes you just need that one person to really stand up and help the group start to form a union.
As you know, I too am a member of the National Education Association, and I am a retired teacher, and I have been receiving a pension since the age of 60. In your situation with the AFT, is a pension available?
Yes, I have been receiving a pension every month. It is beautiful to see. I am very lucky. It's very interesting. I had a friend at the school who, when they were doing negotiations, when I first started my career, and she says, oh, this is not good. We've got to fight for this. I'm getting ready for my pension. And I'm saying to myself, a pension? I don't even understand that. Well, P.S., how many years? 40 years go by so quickly. And yes, thank goodness for people like her. I do get that nice pension every month, and it certainly is beautiful, beautiful.
The other benefit that you probably have, and I'm not sure if this is true, is that you are a Medicare. You are eligible for Medicare, but is there a supplemental insurance that you have as a carryover from your union?
Yes, when I retired, I was able to continue any and all medical insurance that I had. Because I went on Medicare, I then took advantage of the dental plan and the vision plan. And I just say thank you every single day. It's funny, you know, I've made my comparisons with the two organizations, and the non-union school, once these people retire, there is no pension. There is no continuation of their medical. You're not given that opportunity. So when I make my comparison, I am living as a result of all the beautiful benefits that the union has supplied me with. I believe that with the union, you're protected. I also believe that I just don't understand why people don't join a union. The union dues are so important for the union to fight for the things that we need. And I feel that if you belong to the union, you should reap the rewards. The negotiations for pay increases, job protection, the benefits, which I'm enjoying, and having someone help you with your concerns. Why should, and this is a question that has haunted me my entire career, why should a non-union member have the same benefits when they're not contributing to the union? They reap the benefits of all the union members.
Except they don't have a grievance procedure.
No, they don't.
If there's an issue with something at school that requires a grievance advocate on the part of the member, that person stands alone. There's no attorney who can help him or her, and therefore the money would come out of their pocket. So although there are many benefits that they do enjoy, that's a major one that they cannot take advantage of. And but I do find that the majority of the teachers in both the American Federation of Teachers schools and the National Education Association schools are members of the union because they understand the importance of being a member and the benefits that they reap.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
in closing, Monica, let me ask you, we're going through some changes now in this country. So if union membership does rise, and if living wages and benefits and security and job safety returns to American workers on a wider scale than we're experiencing right now, how do you think that's going to impact the nation?
Well, I think that if union membership does rise and our living wages and our benefits and our safety and job security returns for the American worker, I believe that it will have an impact on this nation. I think a strong labor movement is essential to a thriving democracy and economy. I believe that we need to bring industry back to the United States, thus relying less on foreign nations. If anything, the pandemic has taught us about our reliance on other countries. We didn't get all the products that we readily got before. The other countries were in control of the products that we needed. Thinking of masks and gloves and everything the medical organizations needed. But I believe that the reliance on the other countries has to come to an end. We need to bring the industry back to the United States. Then, and only then, with the job market opening up, Americans can get good paying jobs. We will be in a better place. And this will improve our economy and benefit all of us.
Well, Monica, we thank you so much. Obviously, your students have been very fortunate to have such an inspiring teacher. And if there's anything else that you would like to add before we close, feel free.
I just truly thank you for this opportunity. This is something I've always talked to my students about, how important it was. And I'm kind of sad I'm not doing it anymore, but I am enjoying my retirement. And thank you, and keep up the good work that you're doing.
Thank you again, Monica.
Thanks.